Well, I hope you guys had an amazing Saturday. I'm Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy, holding multiple world titles in the team roping event. And I'm taking those strategies that I've learned out in the arena and I'm bringing them to the crypto desk to make you guys world champion crypto traders. So I'm going to do a full breakdown on Dogecoin today. I've had a lot of requests for it, and that wick, everybody has a lot of questions about what's happening with that and how it plays in. Is the market over? Where are we with everything? Well, we're going to get into Dogecoin and we'll talk about it. I'll break it down from a weekly all the way down to a 4 hour, and we'll figure it all out. So I'm going to start off with the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. It always feels like it's a good way to check market sentiment, figure out where everybody is. And as everybody knows, it has been around this pullback. We're in fear. We're at a 27. I think we were at a 28 yesterday. But what you can see, and I say this over and over, is the best times to buy for your spot bags are in fear. You can see every time we go into fear, we launch out. We go into extreme fear, which is where I think we're really headed in all of this. And if you buy in extreme fear, man, you've just got this golden sale. So that's where I'm at. Even if we don't have this great, amazing bull run, if you're buying now, you're probably going to be profitable later on, especially on coins that you have conviction in. I hold just a little bit of Doge, so this was kind of important to me. Well, let's go on over to a altcoin season index. You can see we're in full blown Bitcoin season right now. We're at a 25. We were at 24 yesterday, so we're still moving into a season. Unlike last month where we were at about a 77, and even last year during the big Trump at 87. That's what we really need to see for these altcoins and these meme coins run again, and we're just not there yet. But we're going to go on out to a liquidation heat map. This is what the market makers follow. Everything above price action here are short trades, and everything below price action here are long trades. What market makers do, they go after these broader pockets of liquidity up and down. They don't care where your stop losses are, but they know where they are, and they're going to come after them. So cumulative totals on a weekly, you're at about 38 million in long liquidations. And you can see they're kind of piling up here. And if you go to the top, right here around 22.5 cents, got about $480 million cumulative total of about 100. So I really think that we may kind of need to go up because you can't just sustain downside, downside, downside. Market makers know that, and they know what's up there. So I think that these things may be preparing for some kind of brief pump, maybe a dead cat type bounce, but we'll figure that out in charts. Let me go ahead and pull that chart up. We're going to go to Dogecoin on the weekly. I always like to get a really good idea of where the macro is before I start trading. Because if you don't know where it is on the weekly and the daily charts, how in the world are you going to know where it is on the hourly or a 15-minute? That's just where I stand with that. I think it's important to know the whole thing. But I've got the whole bull run mapped out here, and you can see we've had a pretty good run. We especially had a good run through September where we hit these highs somewhere around 43 cents. But these things are like a spring, guys. This spring has got to be compressed. It's got to get some tension on it, and then that's how we launch. Or think of it like a pressure cooker or a percolator. It just percolates out. You know, it builds up so much pressure and it percolates out. And right now, the pressure is from selling. It's not from buying. The bears have stepped in and really took a hold of this thing. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's go into this. This is a 50 moving average. It takes 50 of these candles and draws a fluid line on the chart. You can see we've just broken that on the 50. A lot of times I'm pretty optimistic when we hit these 50s. I feel like we bounce right away, and they're really strong levels of support. But this one didn't hold, and I think it's because of this wick that comes all the way down to about 9 cents. Basically, what the market makers did was just went in and wiped out anybody that was long leveraged the entire bull run. I mean, it was historic. It was crazy. And I had a suspicion we would come back to these levels, but I didn't think we'd come back that quick. But what you can see is we've lost that 50 moving average. Right now we're in the weekly golden zone, which is bullish to me. But we've got a little bit of wick hanging down right below the 200 moving average. That takes 200 of these candles and puts a fluid line of support and resistance on the chart. But what I want you to pay close attention to is this trend line. We've got this expanding wedge that we built back in the beginning of the bull run. And what I think happens is these charts really like to respect it. I did have it along here for a long time until we lost it. And this would be the next trend that we would be looking for. That's 3 touch points on that trend that make a trend. So what I think that they're trying to do, they're going to push it down here. We're going to probably try to bounce. Hard to say whether the bull run is over. I don't think it is. I think there's, if you think what you hear in rumors of a super cycle, I don't want to throw that out there just yet, but it's in the back of my head. So that's where I think we are with Doge. When we get to the bottom of this, I'll revisit this video and we can find some upside targets for a bigger run up. But if we go into a daily chart, now we're going to break down what's going on that weekly chart. And I've got it marked a couple of different ways. You can see all these letters and everything. It just tells me that we're in a corrective pattern. It kind of follows Elliott wave theory if you know anything about that. But when you get into here, you can see we've lost the 50 and the 200 moving average on the daily, and we're kind of working our way down. We are in that daily golden zone, so what I like to call those for me is a no trade zone. I really like to wait for them to break from one side to the other. So that puts you between 17 cents and 20 cents, 20 and a half cents. So what I think's happening, we may run up and try to retest this. I kind of feel like it's wanting to retest these 50, 200 moving averages because we've retested them once, but you usually like to retest them one more time. And then what I'll tell you is market makers like to fill out about 70% of these wicks. That puts us around 10 cents, 10 and a half cents, or we could drop on down into this daily extension. That's going to be from 3 cents down to about 3.5 cents. So that's where I'm at on the daily chart. We'll go down to a 4-hour. I think it'll break it out a little more. If by some reason we find support in this daily zone and we break that 50 and that 200 moving average, you're going to start looking for higher end targets. Somewhere around 34 cents to 41 cents would be your first stop. Then on up to 75 to about $1.15. So there's upside still here, guys. I just don't know where it is yet. And I'm kind of tracking this move down as close as I can, really figure out where we're going to hit bottom. So we'll go down to a 4-hour chart. This is going to give us a better picture of where we are in the near term. Daily and weekly moves could take days to weeks to play out. So that's where I am with those. If you, let me pull this over here. Okay, there we go. So we're in this corrective pattern. We kind of finished a bigger corrective pattern in here, but I think we're setting up a consolidative corrective. And I know that's technical, but it kind of tells you what's going on. I don't think we're set up for a big run yet, but I think there's a little upside coming. You can see we lost this 618 right here at about 12, right at around 18 cents. And we've kind of reclaimed it, which is pretty optimistic. You really want to see it reclaim levels and consolidate above. So I think we may go up and test out about 20.5 cents. If we can break out of that, like I said, this 4-hour 50 and this 250 are our next, but you can see there's a lot of big resistances here. That's a big resistance. That's a big resistance. And then our golden zone would be the last point of resistance before I start thinking we're breaking out. That's about 23.5 cents. Upside targets, if we do break out, we're looking somewhere around 22.7 to 26.2. We can break out of that 4-hour golden zone. We're going on up 0.36 cents to 0.44 cents. That gives you a really good idea on Dogecoin. I don't trade it a lot. Like I said, I do have spot bags in it. So this is going to give you an idea of what I think it's doing. I think it's pretty accurate. I'm pretty happy with these numbers. So like I said, I think there's more downside, but I think there's light at the end of the tunnel if that makes sense. I don't want to just paint a picture of doom and gloom, but we're going to have another few days to a couple of weeks of downside here, I feel like. And I may be wrong. We may bounce where we are right now and rip off, and that's what happens. And I'll revisit this video if I think that's going to change. But for right now and today, I really don't think that's where we're at. But if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like it, tap that subscribe button, hit the bell notification. You'll get notifications as soon as we drop a video. And what do you think about Dogecoin? Where are we going? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm wrong? Let's talk about it. If you think I'm wrong, I'll revisit and we'll try to figure it out from there. But there's also a link to my X for BitUnix. There's a link to the crypto school. I post all of these charts here. I'm going to wrap this up. I've kind of said enough already, but my name's Chris Hare, the multiple time world champion team roper, the crypto cowboy. We'll see you down the road.